Pharm So Hard, the employees wanna find me, and then wanna hire me. What's 100K to a guy like me? Could you please remind me? Pharm So Hard, this ain't easy. Working late nights, you best believe me. My grades can only go ace. Never wanna see another B unless I'm Jay-Z. Pharm So Hard.
What's good, fam? It's your host, Jim Pruitt, aka PharmD and ED, and I'm bringing you another episode. And guys, this is not going to be a clinical one. This is going to be just a notification of some of the big news that we have going on. And I'm super excited to bring to you guys two big things that we've been working on. One of them you guys probably have a good sense of. Our EMPoweRx conference will be in collaboration with SAEM 23 this year in Austin, Texas on May 16th. It's going to be great. I have a few more details I'll let you guys know about. But another thing that you guys probably don't know about is going to be our new PACUPrep that we have built, because we've looked out there and we've seen that we want to make something different, I would say, when it comes to preparing for the BCEMP board certification. And one of the things that we've noticed is that we need something that's going to be a little bit more to what traditional ED pharmacists do, and that's going to be based off tests. So we decided a year ago that we was going to make a question bank. And we've worked really hard with some very smart people, much smarter than me, to build our new, what we call PACUPrep, board certification prep. And right now we have it just for emergency medicine. But over the next 2 months, we're going to probably release BCCCP and BCPS. So that's going to be something that's really big for us. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about, like, why is it so cool and why did it take so long to make? So one of the biggest things that people want is a variety of questions. And for the BCMP, we have over 1,100 questions now that we have. And we decided that we wasn't going to make this just a very static question set. We were going to make it a very dynamic question set. And what that means is that every month, I have people on my team that looks at these questions based off of the responses that people have and based off the feedback we're given, because we allow our members to flag a question and say, hey, this one wasn't great. I feel that it could have been changed to this way. We take that feedback and we go back and look at these questions every month. And we notice that, okay, I may want to tweak a little bit based off of this, or I've had an experience that I haven't practiced that I may want to add a little bit more to this question. And that's what we do. We're going to make it a dynamic set, and it's going to be a little harder for us, but thankfully for us that our team is going to be built based off of this. We're going to have people that's dedicated solely to looking at feedback, looking at these things that's going on, and making sure that we can modify these questions. So that's going to be a great thing for us. So the good thing is, like, if you buy it now, you're going to have a certain level of questions, and then next week it may be changed. Like, I personally went in and modified just over the last 3 or 4 days for about 50 questions. So that's something I'm really excited about, having a dynamic set of questions that modify based off of the people and based off of the framework that we've gotten from, all the information that BPS and ASHPs put out there when it comes to how to write these questions. It's not a secret. And I'm thankful that me and my team, all of us are double board certified. So we've taken these exams multiple times, and realistically, you get a few clues once you go from there. And it's been great to pass those exams and have a strategy going into them. So now we're going to take that same, expertise and same, mindset that it took to pass those exams into structure and really work on these questions. So that's one of the biggest things. The next part that I think is the most important is the fact that we have now partnered with a company that provides us with some of the most advanced AI technology when it comes to question banks. So no longer are we just giving you a set of questions and giving you a set of answers and that's it. Now we have partnered with a company that allows us to do this thing we call mastery mode, which is pretty cool because it allows you to, based off the amount of times you've answered these questions and the certainty that you have within those, you're able to move this question and this concept up a pillar, so to say. So once you start off, you end up in just unseen, then you go to novice, and you go to intermediate, and you go to advanced, and then eventually you get to the point where you get to mastery. And this is a great way for you to be able to test in those domains. So it's able to allow you to say, hey, I haven't answered these set of questions well. I'm going to go ahead and answer these a few more times because they're going to be in your novice section if you haven't done well with those. If you want to figure out based off of general quizzes that you've taken over all disease states and all subsets, you say, hey, I haven't done well in those. Our analytics reports is phenomenal. That allows you to look and see, hey, you haven't done well with not just in this system, but what sub-disease state. So if, for example, say we're doing cardiology, you say, okay, I didn't do well in cardiology, but where? I didn't do well within acute coronary syndrome. So the fact that the technology is second to none, again, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I have utilized in some shape or form every product that's on the market. And based off of my experience with those, I basically said, okay, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I wish I had. And based off of what's currently going on with an AI and all the things going on out there, this is what I want to use for my platform. And it's only going to get better, guys. So the more people who use the platform, again, the system understands and learns and builds, and you'll be able to, again, continue to grow your skill set in the area that you need, taking less time to study for the exam. So super excited about that technology. The next fact is that we're going to have some practice tests within PACUPrep. So when you first come in, you take a pre-test, and then every month we'll be providing practice tests building up to the exam. And lastly, I would say that a thing that I think is the most important and something I really want to build is that this is not going to be something that everyone is just going to be able to get continuously. If we're going to get to a certain point, we're going to cap the enrollment because we are focused on making this a lot more personal. We're going to have it to where you're going to have a study group, you're going to have direct access to our team, and we're going to say, hey, when do you want to take the exam? What are you struggling in based off of your own thoughts and based off the pre-quiz that we've taken? And let's work together and build a study plan together. What resources are you using? Okay, again, we're a question bank, but we provide references and we provide resources for all of the disease states. And we've looked at this from a AHSP PGY2 competency standpoint, and we looked at it based off of realistically what's on the market, what's out there, and realistically what may be on the test. And we sold out to that over the last year. So anyone who's really intrigued with this, I can talk all along about this, but I really want to get and move forward to talk about our conference, EMPoweRx. Again, this is definitely something that I'm super excited about because it's our conference. It is for emergency medicine pharmacists. But again, this is not, again, I shouldn't say just for us. I'll say it's designed by us to provide the things that we're looking forward to, but we're welcoming everyone. So if you're a mid-level practitioner, a PA, you're an MP, if you're a nurse, if you're a physician, again, all of these is going to be really, really important talks that we're going to have that can benefit everyone. But the biggest thing is that over the last few years, I've noticed that, we haven't had an official spot for us to meet that has an at least all-day agenda for us, whether it's going to be just a few talks that can cross over critical care, but really we're focused on now making it to where we have a platform that allows us to really focus on the needs of emergency medicine and then really get it down centered to emergency medicine pharmacists. So what we've done now, we now have an in-person conference, I would say. So we're going to be in Austin, Texas. We're going to be able to provide you with a full day of programming that's been designed solely by ED pharmacists. And we're going to have it at one of the biggest venues in Austin, Texas. And it's going to be phenomenal. We have some support from SAEM. So when you register for our conference, EMPoweRx, you're going to have all of that on the 16th, but it automatically is going to get you access to SAEM as well for the next few days. So I like to say it's like you have from the 16th to the 19th programming full for emergency medicine, but you're really going to have a full day dedicated to emergency medicine pharmacy needs and some talks that can be interesting. So I don't want to give away too much because you guys know I like to provide you guys with the agenda over a period of the time building up to the conference. But we have some phenomenal names in there. We have some debate talks. We're doing something different this year with our talk sections based off the feedback you guys have. We're going to have multiple people present interesting cases, and we're going to provide a platform that allows the audience to get involved within those talks. is going to be hosted by probably the star of the show of the entire conference last year. So you guys are going to really like that. And then we're going to provide a section in there where emergency medicine is different. Emergency medicine it's not always, black and white. We're going to provide a section in there with just interesting cases and provide you the opportunity to interact within those. We have a few panels that we're going to have during our lunch section. So that's going to be great. So again, if you're interested in PGY2 programming, as far as from an RPD standpoint, want to build something, this is going to be a platform for you. If you're interested in the research, we're going to provide another platform for us to talk about the different components and aspects of research within emergency medicine. But I think one thing that I'm really working pretty hard on, because again, I have a phenomenal team, and we're going to introduce those guys over the period of the next few months. But I'm going to make sure that we're going to go and we're going to learn a ton. But the one thing that I will make sure of, if you come to Austin, Texas on May 16th, you come to the conference, you're going to have a great time. And I'm working on I'm trying to make this big as possible, guys, as far as a type of get together after the conference to really highlight some of the things that we do well within emergency medicine. And we're going to have a ball. There's going to be food, of course. There's going to be music, of course. There's going to be a lot of things going on. And it's really going to be something that I'm just cherishing, to be honest. It's going to be something that's going to be big. So if you come to Austin, Texas, if I know you, even if I don't know you, if you come to Austin, Texas on May 16th, I promise you will leave smarter, but also you'll be entertained, and you are going to say, man, I had a great time. And that's what EMPoweRx is going to be about this year. It's going to be about making sure that we make the most of our in-person conference, making sure we make the most out of our connections with SAEM. So you're going to have a lot of opportunities to learn and network and be in an immersive environment. And SAEM's been a phenomenal job of really taking us in and saying, hey, this is something for you guys. You have the space. You have all these things. We're going to provide any sort of support that we can, and that's how it should be. So we're happy about it. And we're going to take feedback from you guys after the conference to make it work. However, if you're not able to come, I'm going to be sad. However, I definitely understand, because again, we are, as far as the committee, is not going to be, I would say, responsible for registration, things of that nature. We can provide some help, but again, we've allowed our partners with SAEM to really take care of that process. So that's not going to be us. If you can't come, we're going to have a virtual component, and we're going to make sure that we're connecting the people who are physically there and those that are virtually through our chat. So I'm going to find a way to make it as integrative as possible. But that's one thing that the chat definitely going to return. It's going to be on fire as usual. It's going to be great, guys. So I'm super excited about all of this. And again, I don't want to make this too long of an episode. But how do you get involved with this? What you can do is this. If you're interested in PACUPrep, again, it's very easy. Again, I'm going to have it to where you just go to pharmsohard.com and click on this episode. I'm going to have a link there for you guys to get there. I may have a little treat in there, a little discount in there for you guys as well for rocking with me. And we're going to make that possible. If you have questions, definitely just reach out to me on Twitter if you want to, or you can reach out to us again on those actual pages. So every website we have, again, if you want to go to pharmacy/acutcareuniversity.com, it's going to have a contact button. It's going to reach out to my team. If you want to register for the conference, this is something you have to look out for. If you're coming for an in-person conference, you have to sign up through the SAEM website. When you register, you're going to have to do a few things. First, the thing they want you to do is create a profile. When you create that profile, try to make sure you put everything in there, because that's what they're going to use to make your badges, things of that nature. If you make the profile and you go to register for SAEM, you're going to be able to go to a point where it allows you to click on EMPoweRx as part of your registration. That by itself is going to get you access to EMPoweRx and SAEM. If you notice that the price is more than $475 for a non-member and more than $375 up until I think March, your account needs to be converted to non-pharmacists. So you had to reach out to the help team and go from there. I'm actually reaching out to them now to get a systemic solution to this. But as of right now, one of the things you want to do is making sure that when you're registering for all this, find a way to make sure you're not listed as a pharmacist. If you have issues, it's been reached out to a few guys. My buddy Rob O'Connell, he told me it took him less than a few hours to reach out to them for them to change his profile so he can register as a non-pharmacist. If that's something you guys want to do, go right ahead. If you're having a lot of problems, reach out to my team and I. Again, we're always available at support at EMPoweRconference.com. So again, that's going to be there. All this information is going to be really available on our website. And I think from a social media standpoint, you guys know where to find us. And if you can't come in person, what you have to do is you have to go to the EMPoweRx/conference.com website and register through there, because again, we're managing that, so we won't be able to provide access to that virtually for the SAEM conference beyond that. But for all the programming that's done by us, we will have you guys through the whole process from a virtual standpoint. We'll go from there. We will provide continued education for pharmacists for EMPoweRx. Again, that won't necessarily be the case for the SAEM component. So these are some fine line things to go from there. And lastly, again, from the virtual standpoint, we'll provide the live CE and we'll provide some type of access for home study. It will be a little different than it was last year. So again, work with us on that. Again, if you buy the virtual, you will have access for that content for 3 months. After that, we will put a price point beyond that. Because again, just the continued education in itself is extremely expensive for a company that of ours of less than 30 people. So something we want to work on. We try to make sure we provide great pricing from the virtual standpoint. So for pharmacists, it could be $150. For our residents, fellows, all that, $75, and then for students, it could be $25. So again, this is something that should be reasonably priced for you guys, and we try to make sure it's within everyone's price point. Again, this is going to be very different for us because we didn't understand with it being in person. There's a lot of stuff that goes into making these things happen. So we're hopeful for that. Exhibitors, if and drug reps, things of that nature. If you're interested in sponsoring us, we do have exhibitors halls, and we have ways for us to sponsor the conference. So again, you can reach out to us again at EMPoweRx/conference.com. We have some information out there for you guys as well. Again, I thank you guys for listening and letting us provide all this information for you guys. So we're going to chop a lot of this up. You'll see it on social media as well. But we want to make sure that you guys know of these two big things that we're releasing this year. It's going to be probably the biggest things that we have. Again, a way for you to get board certified with PACUPrep that we just made. And then probably the biggest conference that it's going to be this year for emergency medicine pharmacists. And I say that because we're going to have so much programming for you guys. And we're also going to be able to provide a phenomenal relationship with the SAEM crew. There's going to be a ton of information that's going to provide us value as well. And I think realistically, we fought very hard to make sure that from a pricing standpoint, it wasn't at the highest tier that could have been provided. So we're excited about that. We're excited about the relationship that we're building. And you guys know I'm probably working on a little something in my back sleeve as we move forward. So I'm excited, guys. If you have questions, reach out to us. Again, we have a Twitter account, EMPoweRx Conference. You guys can easily find. I'm always easy to find at PharmD_ND. And my team, they're just phenomenal. I'm going to give them a big shout out. So the phenomenal Megan Wretch, phenomenal Kyle DeWitt, Chantrell Johnson, John Packa, Lance Ray, that's going to be my team this year. They have done a phenomenal job of making all this stuff happen. So before the conference even happened, I want to go ahead and shout those guys out now. All the success and all the fun, all the things that you guys are going to experience when you guys go to SAEM and you go to Empower, it's going to be based off of hours and hours and hours of work of that team. I get those people together and they do phenomenal work. So I'm just super excited to work with them to build this conference for you guys. And it's going to be phenomenal. So I hope you guys kind of gather all this information. I think it's going to be great. And I'm going to go ahead and close out, guys. So all the information is going to be in the show notes. So if you don't care anything I said, just go to the show notes. Everything will be there. So again, thank you guys again for listening to this episode. Again, a more informational episode. But as always, guys, close it out the same way every time. You don't have to be a pharmacist. You don't have to work at ED. But everything you do, make sure you farm so hard.
Closes it. Ozzy scratches his head. Whatever she's looking for, it isn't in there.